When I was 15 years old, when I got this job, I said to myself, I am going to work here until the day that I kill myself. And, hello, I'm still here, so I must be happy, right?
I had me a vision. There wasn't any television. But looking into the
How's it going, everybody? This is Shaun
and Sarah. That was a dramatic name entrance.
It was, actually. Trying to keep things fresh. Welcome to My Future Has Been Facefucked, episode 8 of the podcast.
I'm calling this one the Pajama Cast.
This is the Pajama Cast, yeah, because we are pretty much in what we would be go to sleep in, for the most part.
Use your imaginations.
Yeah, that's right. Is it, revealing?
No.
Sexy?
No.
See-through lace? You don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, that's you.
It could be anything. Could be anything. It's,
I wear a potato sack.
the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
As far as your imagination can take it.
Go there.
In
Run
a
with it.
world of pure imagination, I've been wearing silky boxers in my sleeve.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you like that.
Did you make that one up now?
Well, yeah, some of it.
Oh, okay.
Some of it's actually from Gene Wilder.
Oh. The great comedic genius.
Yes. No, what is it? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Come on.
I know that.
You know this.
I know. I'm just joshing ya.
So anyways, yeah. So, how you been?
I've been alright.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hanging out.
I haven't seen you in, forever.
I
Almost
know.
feels like a week.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
This not living together thing is kind of tough.
Which is not true.
I'm just full of lies tonight.
No, so anyways, yeah, but so we've been, doing what we do. Watching movies, watching a lot of TV shows. Actually, last episode we kind of touched on this a little bit, like the different streaming services and stuff like that.
Yeah, how we usually just use Netflix.
Yeah. And ironically, later that very day, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
We saw, I have a PlayStation 3, which is what I use for my streaming devices, watch movies and all that shit. And play, obviously play games. Well, actually, some people don't, so maybe it's not so obvious.
Yeah.
Some people just have it as a media box. But I'm here to tell you that I also do play games.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about right now.
Sorry.
No, so we saw, this advertisement for, a special PlayStation 3 offer, Hulu Plus.
Free for 2 months.
For 2 months for free, yeah.
Which is pretty good.
That's pretty good. And you can cancel at any time, so, you're not obliged to, buy a month.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we got the Hulu Plus, and we've been watching a lot of stuff on that, actually. Well,
pretty much primarily one thing.
Primarily one thing.
Yeah.
We checked out a few other things, which we can also talk about.
And then it reminded you, oh yeah, network television really blows.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we've ever talked about this on this podcast, but we really got into, Gordon Ramsey shows.
Yeah, because they're on Netflix.
Yes, because some of them are on Netflix.
And I love Gordon Ramsay. His actually the UK Kitchen Nightmares is which was his first show.
Yeah, and that's what we started watching. Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Because I had always known about Gordon Ramsay. I'd always known about Hell's Kitchen and stuff. Because it started in 2003, 2004.
I thought 5.
No, it's 2004, 2003. It's
wow.
The 11th season ended recently. In 2012 was the 11th season of that show.
So
was it 2012 or was it this? No, it must have been It must have been this past fall.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, 11.
So it's been on for ever. It's basically an institution at this point.
Yes.
And not only that, but that dude is just on fucking 10 shows.
Which is what we found out through Hulu.
Just random, ridiculous. I had no idea he had a show where he critiqued hotels as well. Hotel Hell,
Night.
Which is Hotel Hell. Yeah. Which is basically just like Kitchen Nightmares except with hotels. And also usually has
hotels.
to do with a lot of food as well.
Most hotels the restaurants and the kitchens in the hotel.
So
I guess there's that element. But I guess he travels enough to where he stays in enough. This is what we were talking about. Does he travel enough and that's why he gets to say in what
who made you fucking
king of the hotel?
Hotel king, yeah.
That was the first thing I said. I was like, what?
Well, yeah, but it was entertaining. I mean,
there's only 6 episodes on.
It's 6 or 7. Yeah.
I think it's 6 because we watched all of them in a night.
Yeah, we pretty much watched all of them in a night. Sarah and I are big marathon people.
Yes.
Like, when we watch something, we watch it intensely for a long time.
And sometimes I get sucked into the drama.
To a point.
I did with the MasterChef.
MasterChef, actually, not bad. I'll say that show is kind of refreshing.
After watching,
because we watched 2 whole seasons of Hell's Kitchen back to back. Like, no fucking interruptions. Well, obviously, other than, like, sleeping and going about your daily business. But, like, that's the only, like, media we consumed for, like, 4 days, it felt like.
Yeah,
maybe, no, because then, I mean, and then we rolled into a 3rd season, because we're, like, almost at the end of the 3rd season now.
No,
so
we're on season 4.
Well, no, we started season 3.
3, so we're on
season 5.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Because we were like, well, the first couple seasons of the show usually takes a little while to find their footing, so we'll just fucking...
Start at 3.
It's usually when people...
And we got you get the gist of that show. It's so, essentially, if you haven't seen the show, it's the
same goddamn thing every season.
Yeah, same thing every season, but you have 2...
Somebody always gets sent home on medical leave or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm stepping on what you're trying to say.
My coattails. Back the F off.
Okay.
No, it's actually, so it's 2 teams of competing. They're like chefs. They're like former chefs that are in other industries now that want to get back into the culinary world. They're executive chefs. They're
some of them
sous
are
chefs.
Yeah, chefs, you know.
Yeah, or some are just in culinary school even.
Yeah, and they're trying to get a leg up because it's like an opportunity. Basically, you get to be like a head chef at either one of his restaurants or one of his, like, probably a restaurant he owns or has some sort of investment into or
that's
something.
the prize at the end with some money.
Yeah.
$250,000.
Yeah, $250,000 and you get, like, a head chef position.
To run a restaurant. A pretty major restaurant.
Yeah, usually some pretty swanky places.
Yeah, fine dining.
Mm-hmm.
And so these 2 teams have challenges as teams, and eventually as it dwindles down, Yeah,
it goes men and women, which I always thought is weird that it's...
always men and women?
Always starts as men and women.
Yeah.
Like, women are always red, men are always blue. I just don't like...
Enforcing gender stereotypes, are we, Gordon Ramsey?
Subtly. Well, it's not like a pink. It's a masculine red.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a masculine red.
Saying my favorite color is masculine?
Well, there's shades of colors that can change them from feminine to masculine, like...
So you're saying the shade of red pink.
Like powder blue.
Was totally masculine.
Is it masculine?
Hello, 70s.
Well, I suppose in the 70s. Things have changed. But anyways, yeah, so I was always kind of like, well, why do they do that?
Yeah, I did too. I thought maybe the season we picked up on, season 3, that maybe that was like a new thing they were doing, like men versus women, but it's every season.
So far. Like
and
then
at the end, as they dwindle down to enough where it's one team doing dinner service, it's a black team.
Yeah, then
they're all one team.
They're just one team, and then they kind of all turn on each other, because there's like... The team-based dynamics go up until that point, so up until, like, the final 6.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of trying to screw each other over at that point. To a degree, it doesn't seem like...
But it's still about teamwork.
It's still about teamwork and, like, how you can work in a team, because that is kind of essential to cooking in big restaurants. You know?
Yeah,
so
when you run a kitchen, because you all have to be your own different stations for parts of the meal, and you have to be timed together.
Yeah, and that's why you don't really want to screw people over, because you're going to make yourself look bad, number one, and second of all, you're not going to, like, finish serving food, because Gordon Ramsay will just shut down the kitchen.
In the middle of service and tell the diners to go home.
Yeah.
Or to fuck off in his language, probably. Fuck off!
I don't know how real it is. I mean, you can feel some artifice in the show, mostly coming from him.
And it's starting now more so in this last season.
Yeah, because by this time it's like almost an institution. So there's like, back in whenever this was on, 5 years running, there was an expectations by the audience, like what would be in the show.
What's the most ridiculous thing Gordon will do?
So even like season 5, like the emotional stakes are like so high right off the bat. Like
there's some crazies.
I think they start doing like what most reality shows do, and they like cast based on like personality profiles,
as opposed to cooking.
As opposed to cooking abilities, or if there actually would be good contestants. You get cast based on your personality profile. Are you going to be like a good television personality?
The real world.
I understand. That's like you're trying to make a piece of entertainment, a product, but it's still kind of lame to a certain degree. I don't know. But I don't know. It's all right. Hell's Kitchen is okay.
I love it.
I wouldn't say I love it. Like I do enjoy it.
I just like cooking shows though.
Me too, and I like challenge based cooking shows. I think it's fun. It's fun to watch.
It makes you very hungry.
Yeah. I was a big Top Chef fan for a long time.
Which is why MasterChef is pretty sweet.
Yeah, then there's another show we found out because of
Hulu.
Hulu was MasterChef, which is basically like American Idol of cooking shows because it's all like home cooks.
Home cooks.
Yeah.
People that don't cook.
Don't cook professionally.
Right.
Yeah. And they're all competing for
I got emotional with
some type of
I got
title.
emotional with the single mom. I will be honest. Got a soft spot for single moms.
But that show's alright. That show's pretty good. It's kind of refreshing after watching all that Hell's Kitchen to watch that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because it's formulaic. They're all the fucking they all follow every
Yeah, you
episode
were
is
even
the same
dissecting.
beats.
You were even dissecting the cuts to tell me.
Yeah.
Sean was predicting winners based on the cuts.
Based on edits. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah, you were.
I was wrong one time. I've been wrong once.
Well, aren't you the king of MasterChef?
Well, because you have to think about psychology of editing, and they're trying to build you up to an expectation of a certain person that's going to win,
Right.
and then it's supposed to catch you off guard when that person doesn't win because of the way they edited, they make it they just show that person more often actually, and their dish more often than the actual winner, right?
Yeah.
Leading up to the announcement, so there's 20 seconds of just fast editing
Yeah.
between the judges, the contestants, and the dishes.
You have quick
Yeah,
cuts.
so you have to if you pay attention to it, there's kind of a pattern there. I don't know exactly what the pattern is, but
you figured it out.
I don't know if I
pretty
can
well.
articulate it very well, but I can pick up on it while I'm watching it.
Yeah,
So there you go.
you're the master chef.
I am the master chef. But yeah, that show has got some interesting dynamics as far as judges. It's kind of very American Idol-esque.
Yeah, but especially with the way they do the selections, tell your story to a camera, and then you run in and make a big grand entrance, then you cook for them, they ask you what's your cooking dream?
Yeah, they have auditions basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have auditions, and so that was a lot like American Idol, but even just the way the disposition of the judges themselves. There's a hard ass,
Which
there's a nice,
surprisingly is not Gordon Ramsay.
there's a nice guy, and then there's the medium dude. Gordon Ramsay's the medium dude. There's this big dude, I think his name is Graham. Yes, I guess he's a famous cook. I've never heard of him or seen him before.
Nope.
And this other dude named Joe, who's the son
Such
of
an
a
ass.
he's the son of a famous cook, and I'm assuming he's some type of chef or something. But he's an asshole. And he looks kind of like Lex Luthor, Grant Morrison-esque.
That's what you said, Grant Morrison.
Yeah, Grant Morrison, the comic book writer. Just in case you don't know who Grant Morrison is. But yeah. No.
So that's what we've been doing. We haven't even touched it. I think last time we touched Netflix, we were surprised to see some new stuff on there. Oh, we did watch a movie on Netflix.
That's right, we did. Actually, we watched...
Tabloid.
Yeah. Errol Morris documentary called Tabloid.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Cool. I forgot about that
I
one.
don't know, do you have anything else to say about Hulu and...
I'm debating if
Ramsey?
I'm going to keep Hulu. Because
Yeah,
it's on my account, so I don't know. It's good to have, but really after these Gordon Ramsay shows, are we really going to watch anything else? Because we tried, and it didn't work.
Yeah, we tried some other network shows. We tried this show called Who Done It
Which
on
sounds
ABC.
really cool.
It's basically a reality show Clue.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery,
Murder mystery.
and one of them, or it's the mole mixed with Clue, because one of the people that's picked
I believe is the murderer.
is a murderer, and you got to figure out who it is, and everyone's already being secretive, and that sounds really cool. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Clue's my favorite board game.
Yeah.
I was sold, and then within I think 15 minutes we made it. Not even that, maybe.
Yeah, I think we halfway through the first episode.
So 15 minutes.
20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
It's terrible, and it actually looks really staged, and I'm pretty sure most of these people are actors. It's there so bad, and bad actors too. Not
Yeah.
even, at all convincing. Even the way the editing is and stuff, it's so staged and set up that you're you completely disconnect from it, and then you're just kind of annoyed.
Yeah, which was a shame, because that sounds like something, that gave me a little bit of hope for where TV's going, I was oh, there's going to be some cool stuff going on,
Well, that might be, that could be interesting, potentially.
But no.
I mean, there is some other cool stuff on Hulu.
Rock of Love.
Oh,
But we've
my
watched
God.
all of those.
I've watched all those when I made some mistakes in my youth. And watched
me
those
too.
shows. But I don't know, there's some other shows, the entire series of The Shield is on there.
Oh,
which I would
right.
really like to rewatch, because
I've never seen it. My stepfather loves
Yeah,
it.
it's a really good show. It's a really fantastic show. That's on there. There's a couple other ones too. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's some decent shows. A lot of the shows that the advertised shows are all there. But then there's a lot of, like, once you get deeper into the selection process of, like, by channel and stuff, most of the shows aren't there. They're
But you
actually
can
just,
select to like them, right?
they're just clips of shows.
Because you like...
They're just clips.
Is
Like,
the
so if
thick of it on there?
Yeah, the thick of it's on there, yeah.
Oh, because I saw it was like, because you like the thick of it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that are older shows that are like complete series are on there.
Okay.
Except for some like Bravo, like so I like Top Chef, so I was like, oh, and I haven't watched it in a few years. I was like, oh, maybe the Top Chef seasons are on there. They're not. It's just all clips.
That's annoying.
Yeah, so
There's no way for them to advertise for the channel.
yeah, it's basically it's a commercial for the series.
Which is the other annoying thing about paid Hulu is the commercials. We were right, because it's the same goddamn 5 commercials for whatever show you're watching.
Yeah, whatever show you have has like a different set of commercials, and it gets old, especially when you watch it the way we've been watching it, which is like marathoning. It gets really grating.
Yep.
Like the same fucking commercial, the same song, just like over and over again. I mean, I understand that why they have to do it, because like they need to make revenue to to pay for licenses, and like it's expensive, I'm sure, to buy these licenses.
Then what
and
is
stuff.
my $7.99 going towards, or whatever the hell it is?
Just Hulu infrastructure. Mm-hmm. $7.99 is pretty cheap for what is offered.
No,
like same
I
thing
understand.
Netflix. I think Netflix like $7.99 a month for Netflix is incredibly cheap
No, I agree.
for what's offered.
I'm just saying, where's my money going?
I don't know. I don't know what their budgetary breakdown is.
Going in the cloud.
It's going into the cloud, into the Microsoft cloud, and we have PlayStation, so it doesn't even make any sense at all. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I like Hulu. It's okay. But like you said, like once you've kind of cashed out on the things you wanted to watch, is it worth keeping? Because we're not people that watch a lot of newer shows like from week to week. So, and the ones we do are cable shows like Mad Men or Bates Motel or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
we don't watch. They're not on Hulu. Like so,
Right.
it's not gonna do much for us. And there's a few sitcoms. Like I like Community and stuff like that. But I don't know. But I don't have to. I can wait for that too. Like I don't
Same.
have to get Hulu and watch it.
Same. So we'll see after these 2 months. We'll let you all know.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're on the edge of your seat wondering,
yeah,
will they, won't they?
We're gonna keep Netflix because I like Netflix. And
Yeah, me too. So, back to Netflix. We were on Netflix, and we saw that Tabloid was on there, which is a movie I saw in theater.
Yeah.
You were waiting to see.
Yeah, I wanted to see it for a while. I'd forgotten about it, honestly.
I think we had talked about it once, too.
Yeah,
like,
because
I was telling you I saw it at the theater back in Baltimore.
Yeah.
When it came out.
So I think we were probably talking about Errol Morris, or documentaries in general.
Yeah.
Errol
And then
Morris
it got brought up.
is a famous documentarian. He's like The Thin Blue Line is another one of his that's really famous. There's one, something Florida. It's about like what do you call them? Undertakers in Florida.
Oh.
It's a little odd. They're all usually odd, quirky documentaries. And his newest I think it's his newest one, 2010. But Tabloid,
Tabloid. It was really good.
pretty decent.
I think it was after 2010.
It's 2010.
Is it?
That's when it made. It probably came out in 2011 or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
I saw it in 2011.
But I thought it was okay. It starts the first hour is really strong, and then it kind of doesn't know
What to do with itself?
what to do with itself, and the story is fairly anticlimactic. So it's
It's an interesting story, though, so I recommend people watching it.
yeah. And there's this theme in that story about this woman that she can't let go of things, and they try to wrap around at the end of the documentary about the story about her. She had this dog that she really loved. It died. She was involved in like the first actual cloning of an animal, I think,
Of a domesticated
or a
animal.
domesticated animal.
His first cloned animal was a sheep.
It was a sheep, yeah, Bessie,
Dolly.
or Dolly, rather, yeah. But anyway, so kind of that's the through line of it. Like this lady's kind of a nut, and
Yeah, and takes you on her kind of like... She was also the first tabloid star.
yeah.
So that's why it's called Tabloid. She became so popular, especially in the British tabloids, she exploded and became this world-famous person through... It's a crime, or a story, whatever.
Yeah.
But she was the first, like, tabloid star, and it's kind of like investigating, I guess, maybe the development of that and the sensationalism behind it.
It does, but it doesn't make any I don't know, it doesn't really commentate on even the nature of tabloids. And
My
like how
favorite-
other than like outside of her story, so there's no broader context.
But you can kind of see what they're getting at. Because they show you the different
Yeah.
angles that different papers took on her story, and there
Oh,
were
of
two
course,
completely
yeah.
different campaigns to show the war between them and how to sell them.
Yeah, to a degree. But like even the
But,
the
yeah.
tabloids that wanted to go after her throat or whatever had more evidence that she was a liar than her word that the other newspaper had.
Yeah, but they painted this other picture of her, and I think they kind of wanted to make her feel stupid.
Oh, maybe, I don't
Spread
know.
eagle.
No, I mean, like, there's this whole thing where she was engaged to this man,
Supposedly engaged.
whatever, and he disappeared one day. She goes to look at him, finds out, because he's Mormon, so she finds out that he's in London. What was really going on is he was on his mission. Like all Mormons, they have to go on some kind of mission
Yeah,
to spread
get-
the word of God. For a couple years, everybody's required to do that in the Mormon faith. And she thought they were brainwashing him and kidnapping him, which I guess you could argue, yeah, sure, that's kind of what it is. But then she goes there to try to get him, and then there's a lot of confusion in the story, how willing this man was to go with her and all the
things that unravel after.
yeah. And this, I don't know, I thought it was okay.
I
thought-
really liked it when I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think about it the second time you watched it?
I still liked it.
Yeah.
'Cause I think she's just an interesting person to watch.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Pretty...
I mean, you can make the case that she's delusions. She's a little delusional.
A little bit.
It's so. I guess she's got kind of like lives in a almost borderline fantasy world.
Which is what they do a pretty good job painting it.
Yeah, they do. They do. But I don't know. Like, it's just. I think just like because there wasn't enough like broad context and other people kind of commentating on the case and stuff like that, while I enjoyed it, like it felt like very slight. It was very light, light documentary. It's not heavy documentary by any means. It's still very good, very well done. But I don't know because as soon as I was kind of got his hooks into me like within an hour. And I was like really kind of invested in the story and stuff. Then it kind of just peters. It's kind of like and then we skip to 30 years later.
Yeah. But what else could they do with that story?
Well, because there's all this stuff about her stalking him and all this.
Well, let's talk about it.
A lot of it was the limitations of interviews. They weren't able to get interviews with like this guy that she had supposedly kidnapped and stuff, and his side of the family. Like, so there's a lot of things that are just left unsaid because they're not known.
Right.
So I don't know. I thought it was alright.
I recommend it.
I'd recommend watching it. It's worth watching, most definitely. I wouldn't buy it. It would not be a purchase unless you're like a huge Errol Morris fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but that's all we've really watched on Netflix because we've been so
Entrenched in Gordon.
in Gordon Ramsay. God damn it.
So cut.
So cut, so good, such good shape.
I love when all the girls hit on him. It's awkward.
I do. I feel like that dude sleeps with everybody he can. I don't know.
His wife was on one episode.
So?
I know.
What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. Well, he has lived a life of scandal.
Who else you podcasting with? I'm joking.
What? I don't know. Yeah. So, that's that.
Yeah. Then we only watched one movie.
Yeah, and then we only saw one movie recently. So I guess we'll just talk about that.
Yeah. The Wolverine.
Wolverine. The standalone Wolverine flick starring Hugh Jackman and Asian people. I would call it Mortality, Ninjas, and the Wolverine.
That sounds like an essay.
That's what I would call it if I was writing about it. If I had written this review, that's what I was going to call it. Mortality, Ninjas, and the Wolverine.
Maybe that's what this podcast should be called.
Maybe it should be.
Ninjas could be the competitors on...
Yeah.
Top.
So, like, what are your general overall opinions of this film?
It was okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's okay. What do you... Like, at the end of the movie, do you feel like it went off rails? Because that's, like, the biggest criticism of this flick is that, like, the last act is, like, totally disconnected from the rest of the movie.
I agree.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
It went full on... Because it goes full on comic book. Silver Samurai and shit.
No, and that's fine. But it it definitely differs from the rest of the movie. So it kind of felt a little jolted at the end, where it was like, I wish it would have done one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, because what this movie is really about is about, like, Wolverine refining his purpose in life, redefining, like, the meaning of life, basically, for himself.
Coming out of his solitude.
Yeah, like, why? Because this is a direct sequel to X-Men The Last Stand. And one of the big things is that he's psychologically tortured by having to kill Jean Grey. And even to the point
AKA
that
the Phoenix.
he has, like, visions of her and stuff like that. Which is, I guess, from a comic book standpoint, like, people, I guess, have a lot of problems with the fact that he's obsessed with Jean Grey, because he's really not.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I am fine with these movies having their own continuity. I mean, look how many different continuities of the X-Men there are just in comic book form. So the fact that the movie continuities aren't the same doesn't bother me, as long as the spirit of the characters is there.
It's pretty uncanny.
It's pretty uncanny. But I don't know, like, I thought it was better than I expected it to be. I thought it did a good job of balancing kind of what's more like a character story and ponderous kind of moments with, like, kind of pretty decent action, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, the action is pretty good.
Yeah. Except for the lack of blood.
Yeah, this dude's cutting people apart, and there's not a drop of blood almost, like, anywhere.
Very perfectly like a dab on a shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like a bullet wound.
Well, yeah, like, for bullet wounds and stuff.
But it's like
If
a
they have-
perfect circle. It's not like splatters or anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because it's very clearly a PG-13 movie. They shot it to be PG-13. I don't know, like, I thought Hugh Jackman was really good.
No, I always thought he was a good Wolverine.
Yeah, me too.
Always.
I think it was probably his best Wolverine. Actually, as far as, like, he felt like the Frank Miller Wolverine. Like, in demeanor.
Even the way he sat and, like, held himself.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Wolverine.
Yeah, no, he's very... I mean, I think it's his 6th time playing the character.
It's 5th or 6th.
Or 5th
yeah.
time? 5th time? No, 6th, because
6th.
he is in X-Men Last Stand First Class for a second.
Do you want to count when he is in the diner in, was it Thor? No, it wasn't Thor.
No, First Class.
No! There's a scene where he's in another movie for a second.
X-Men First Class.
Oh, shit. God damn it.
Yeah, so this is his 6th outing with the character. Like, on film. It's the 6th time he's played him. That's a lot. You know, like...
He's gotten...
Only, like, Robert Englund, who played fucking Freddy Krueger, like, 8 times, I think, beats him. Or Brad Dourif also played... Well, he's not on camera, but Brad Dourif has always voiced Chucky, too. So he's got a couple more movies to make go before he catches up to them. But I think it's his most... It's, like, understated, but kind of perfect.
Even the voice he's gotten down, too.
Yeah.
The voice was a lot more gruff.
Yeah, it was.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm not a big Wolverine fan, usually. Like, I like Wolverine,
Yeah.
but he was never, like, my favorite of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So I never was like everyone else, like, oh, Wolverine, ah! But, like, this, I was like, yeah, Wolverine. Pretty sweet.
Well, I think Wolverine's undeniably, like, a cool character, quote unquote. Right?
No, I agree.
I think, like, from my experience with, like, the character of Wolverine, like, I really liked him when I was a kid. I kind of cooled off on him in my late teens when I was, like, more serious. Oh, fuck Wolverine. Like, everybody likes Wolverine. And then, like, now that I'm older, I kind of reappreciate him.
Yeah.
Again. Just because I think he's probably has the most, like, complex psychology and story of, like, almost all of the X-Men.
No, I agree.
He does. He has the most interesting, like, material that's been written about.
Yeah.
He does.
Wolverine in the Jungle's pretty great.
Sure.
Have you ever read it?
No, I never have. I have not, like...
I'll bring it back from Baltimore.
I've read some, like... I think I read, like, Frank Miller's The Wolverine, his run on Wolverine, which this movie is heavily based on. And I've read, like, Age of Apocalypse, stuff like that. I've read, like, all the big X-Men stuff. I was never consistent with X-Men. Because I don't really...
Like Marvel.
I don't love the X-Men. I think they're cool and everything, but I think it's fucking soap operas. And they exist so much on the superficial plane, outside of, like, fucking... Like, Age of Apocalypse, I've never been, like, taken aback reading an X-Men thing. Like, as far as depth of, like, they really trying to get into a character's mind, other than Wolverine. Wolverine, there's a lot of like stuff where it's like his psychological like torment and stuff like that is always a kind of, it's always there. Some writers have done better with it than others. I mean, just like Bruce Wayne. Like if you have a writer that loves Bruce Wayne and wants to like get into the complexities of Bruce Wayne, he's a fucking awesome character. If you have fucking most like hack comic book writers that just want to write a cool Batman book, they suck. I mean, like, that's just the thing. But I don't think X-Men, because it's such an ensemble, like there isn't a lot of like focus on all the characters, so not all the characters get the same attention as Wolverine does.
Yeah. I think there's few exceptions.
There'll be runs that like exclusively like deal with one character over the others,
Cyclops and
like
Storm.
Cyclops and Storm and stuff like that. But I don't think they've ever been very good. I was never very convinced of their.
Gambit had his own series too. It was pretty good.
Didn't last very long though, did it?
No.
No, because it wasn't very good. Everybody.
Whatever. Gambit's the best.
But anyways, I don't know. So as a comic book, like, because you like X-Men, you like Marvel.
I grew up on Marvel.
So, do you think it's like a worthy comic book movie?
I think it's fine. I could have passed. Like I said to you when it was done, I kind of feel the same way I felt about any X-Men movie. It's fine. I don't think they've done a stellar job, but I think this one's really good because they did do a really good job, like you said, of getting into his mind frame and what he actually is going through as Wolverine and not wanting to be the Wolverine. You know, kind of like...
Well, the whole thing is like, I guess if there was like a tagline for the movie, it would be like, you're not just an animal. Because he's beast-like when you find him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
Well, actually, okay, we thought the movie was okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're not blown away either way. We're going to kind of talk about some spoilers. There's a few things I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
More spoiler fashion. So if you haven't seen the Wolverine, stop listening, or if you don't care, keep listening, or if you have seen it, you can keep listening as well, if you're not bored.
Just do what you want.
Do what you want. It's a free country, kind of. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I was trying to say that, like, I think it's really interesting that talk about, like, or focus in on, like, the mortality of Wolverine, because that's something I didn't even really think about a lot growing up, or even now, you know, when I think about Wolverine, think about, well, he is pretty indestructible. He is, like, ageless. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, see,
I never thought of him as a character like that until this movie, kind of, which was interesting, because it's been a while since I've touched a lot of, like, the Marvel stories.
yeah.
But it was pretty cool to have that thought about Wolverine.
I think it was a cool thought to have. I don't think the movie does anything interesting with it. The fact that he is now suddenly mortal, it still doesn't matter. He's still getting shot and fucking walking away from it.
Yeah, it shows him wincing. Well, it wasn't immortal. It was slowly eating his heart to kill him. The bug and the venom. So he was just wincing. It was slowly taking his power away. So he could still walk away from it.
I understand that. No, that was just inhibiting his powers. It wasn't slowly doing anything. Like, that's just the way it was. So he has a higher tolerance, but, like, if he hadn't been saved by Morocco or whatever her name is, I can't remember her name. But anyways, that first time when they're at the hotel, and they're having the surgery and stuff like that, like, he needed to get the bullets removed and stuff.
Yeah. It didn't.
I don't think it does anything interesting. The fact, like, I never felt like he was actually in danger.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't even realize how pressing that scene was then, because I thought she was just doing it because she thought he was more hurt than he was.
Yeah.
But
they all know who he is because they all know why he's there.
Yeah.
The grandfather sends for him so he can trade his fucking superpowers with him.
Which is weird.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like there's definitely some. It's like interesting things that are touched on and never really fully developed. Because as soon as the mortality stuff becomes like he's really come to terms with, oh fuck, like I get tired and stuff now.
Yeah.
Like there's a really great scene where he's trying to help these people move this tree out of the road, and he's like cutting it in half, and he's fucking winded and he's tired and he has to go sit down and have a drink of water and eat an apple. Like
have some apples, yeah.
He's like holy shit, I've never felt that before. And I think there were some great moments where he's like looking at the wounds. He's like, oh, I've never felt prolonged physical pain before.
Right.
And as soon as that gets interesting, this really hits home for him, and he pulls the thing out.
Yeah.
which I don't even know how they got it on him.
She kissed him.
She kissed him. How did it end up on his heart?
She kissed him. It probably went through his mouth.
I guess.
Some tongue action there.
This Viper lady.
Which, only one incarnation of Viper's a lady.
Yes. But it's
Just, I
fine.
understand.
It's a movie.
I understand.
No, but, yeah, so I didn't think that, because, like, you know, that would have been a much, I think, more, like, powerful
Movie.
thing if he never didn't get it back to the last minute at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, if he had to go try to save the girl while still impaired, without his healing abilities
He
and
wouldn't
stuff
have
like
made
that.
it through all those arrows.
Well, they didn't have to do that. Like, he could have figured out something
That was
else.
a pretty sweet scene, though.
Like, he could have been, like, accepting that the fact, like, he has to sacrifice himself. Like, this is the way I would have done it. I was thinking in my mind. I was like, the girl's about to get killed. Right?
Yeah.
She's about to get, like, run through. Logan has, like, a thought, like, he realizes he can save her, but he's gonna have to kill himself. He's gonna have to sacrifice himself. And, like, the dude, so the Silver Samurai is coming to, like, run the girl through. And he steps in front of it, and then the sword goes through his chest. But it hits his heart, and it knocks the thing out. So that's how you can have him keep living. But that would have been a much more, like, powerful gesture. Like, I've embraced, like, I found
My
meaning
mortality.
my mortality, but I've also found meaning in life. And my meaning is to protect people that cannot protect themselves, which has always been Wolverine's thing. So that's, like, the subtext of his character. He helps, like, the downtrodden.
Jubilee.
Like, well, Jubilee in the cartoon.
I mean, because, like, let's just talk about those fireworks.
Rogue in the movie, like, Rogue in the
Which-
movies, like, that's,
yeah.
he's kind of a paternal figure. He even is, like, with, like, the students in X-Men Last Stand. Like, that's the way he is.
And that's how he kind of is in, the other Wolverine movie where...
Origins?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a terrible movie, but...
It was terrible. I was sad that was terrible. But, cause that would have been an interesting movie. I don't know, I like Sabretooth, though. I think they did a good Sabretooth.
Liev Schreiber was alright, yeah.
But there's a lot more they could have done with that movie. But I forgot where I was going with that. I don't remember where I was going with that. Holy crap.
No, you were saying that he's, like, always been a protector, and you said even in that...
Yeah, even in that, because, how he is with his wife, and, through his war stories and stuff, you know. Even with his brother, he got protective.
Well, even in the beginning of this movie, he saves the guy from...
Yeah, so I think that...
from the nuclear
So I
blast.
think they've done that very well in other movies, in other
No,
movies.
they've built up to it, which makes this movie... allows this movie to work.
Right.
And that was one of the cool things about this movie. It, like, references movies that aren't as good.
Yeah.
Like X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Origins. It acknowledges those things and actually kind of treats them like they were better movies than they were. But that stuff's canon. And
so it has to.
And it leads up into the Wolverine. Like, you have to... You don't have... I think you could watch this movie without having ever seen any of those X-Men movies and be fine.
Right, but it helps.
His arc, the impact of his arc is not going to matter.
Right, the
if
whole
you
gene
haven't.
thing doesn't kind of matter.
It wouldn't matter
As much.
in his personal growth of accepting that he's a hero.
Right, because that was always Wolverine's like,
Yeah.
Give
and
my
now
cigar.
He's kind of come to the thing, he's like, no, I am the person that can affect change, and I need to do it. I need to go get back to work,
Right.
basically. I need to go back and be like a soldier for the mutants, basically.
yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of clunky. Like, the ending, actually, like, even though I felt like it was kind of disconnected from the tone of the rest of the movie, it was probably the most enjoyable part of the movie.
I don't know, I like the fight with the father.
Oh, yeah, like, kind of the samurai fight
Like,
type showdown.
yeah, silhouetted and stuff at points. I thought that was awesome.
Well,
That's where I was like, whoa.
Well, some of this action was really brutal.
Yeah.
Like, and Wolverine was fucking awesome, like, with claws out and everything, like...
Even without claws.
Schnicka, like... It was really awesome. Really, like, powerful swings, fast, like... It was awesome, and that's the thing, like, they gutted the movie because it was PG-13. So
do you think there was missing parts? Because you kind of said that while we were watching it.
I feel like this movie had a good 20 minutes trimmed out of it, and a lot of the gore was
Toned down.
toned down. I think, like, I heard that they're gonna release, like, a rated R cut of the movie on Blu-ray and DVD. I don't think it's gonna matter that much, because it was very clearly constructed to be PG-13. So adding CGI blood doesn't really, like, blow my mind,
Yeah.
Because originally this project was like, there's a few directors. One of them that was on it for a long time was Darren Aronofsky, and he wrote, like, a hardcore Wolverine script.
Trying to do justice to the Frank Miller.
Yeah, he was going to straight up do the Frank Miller thing, probably even make it more brutal and uncompromising. But with a lot of sex and violence and stuff like that.
Sex and violence.
But obviously that didn't happen, and they've kind of compromised. They found this kind of middle ground, and it was okay. It was okay. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
The poster's pretty sweet, so I was stoked.
The poster is sweet. But the trailers for that movie were terrible.
Yeah, I
They were
never
pretty
got
bad.
excited whenever we saw it.
No, neither did I.
I was like, okay, I'll probably see it, because I will probably see every Marvel movie that comes out.
Yeah.
But,
Well, in the pantheon of X-Men movies, like, rank them.
what, right now?
Yeah, rank them. Best to worst.
I think the second X-Men movie.
Okay.
Maybe the first is next. And then I would probably go... Maybe Wolverine would be next, then. Just out of, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably, it's a toss-up between these two.
Well, Origins and First Class?
Yeah.
You didn't like First Class?
Not really.
See, I loved First Class. That's my, like, number one.
Deadpool is...
No, that's Origins.
That's Origins? Oh,
No,
shit.
First
Why am I
Class.
messing these up? I give up now.
I would say X-Men
I-
First Class,
Yeah. It's your first?
my number one. X-Men 2, Wolverine, X-Men 1, X-Men Last Stand. And then Origins. At the very bottom.
I don't know. It's a toss between Origins and Last Stand for me. I didn't really enjoy
Last Stand is terrible. And funnily enough, it's the most bright comic booky of them, but the problem was, like, it broke tone with the other two movies, because Bryan Singer left to go direct Superman Returns, and then Brett Ratner came on
Yeah.
with, like... And, like, not to say that it would have been good, even if he had been on the project longer, but he had, like, 2 months to prep, and he changed the script, and he added characters and all that shit with, like, in 2 months. When you're doing pre-production on a movie like this, it takes, like, fucking 2 years to get ready to or a year just of pre-production, like, to shoot these things. But yeah, X-Men Last Stand is pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
We should rewatch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time, actually. I haven't.
I kind of haven't watched any of those.
Well, you don't like First Class at all?
Not really.
Really? Why not?
I just kind of, I don't know. It was alright. I don't, it's not really memorable to me. I don't know why, but it was alright. I think Magneto was pretty great.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender was really
Yeah.
good.
I think,
Even
I think that's where we kind of draw the line on these movies, is because I get so attached to the comic books sometimes that when I hate that they mess up, like, the orders of characters and
yeah, but
sometimes
is it messing it up? Like, it's a separate continuity. It has nothing to do with the comic
I understand,
books.
but then there's something in my brain that kind of goes like, oh, like, ah.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that's kind of why I get some of those movies, and that's why I'm like, ah.
Well, but did you like the Avengers?
It was okay.
You don't.
I haven't been super thrilled by any of the Marvel movies, except for Iron Man. And Thor was pretty good.
Thor is like half of a good movie. I think the new Thor looks awesome.
New Thor looks awesome, but I liked Thor a lot growing up, and I thought it was fine. But I think Iron Man's done the most justice to Marvel, but the rest of them I've kind of, I despise the Spider-Man movies, so. I know, you get really weird about that.
I don't know how you can hate Spider-Man 2. I don't understand that at all.
I don't.
Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 are so, like, well-made movies that capture a specific era of Spider-Man, and it's not your era, so you reject it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, because
that's what I mean.
But that's the whole thing. Like, what I mean about, like, these movies and, like, being so, like, hung up on continuity and stuff. Like, how can you? How can you be? Like, there's so many different continuities and different versions of these characters already that, like, I don't. Like, that's, yeah, like you said, like, it doesn't bother me that movies don't follow the continuity.
I don't know, maybe just because it's also my childhood, and so it's what I was really attached to for a long time, so it's
Well, that's the same thing here.
I understand that, but for me, it's just like, I want to see what I read.
Like, I really love Batman, but, like, I don't care that they don't do straight up Batman adaptations.
Be sweet though, wouldn't it?
It would be really cool if they did a, like, Hush or
Hush
something
would
like
be
that.
fantastic.
The problem with stuff like that is that those are, like, established character stories. So, like, to make a movie out of that, like, I think with DC Animated, they've been doing a lot of interesting things with their animated stuff, and they've been doing some cool adaptations of books. Like, Hush would be an awesome, like, two-parter for them, like they did with Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Be like a cool, like, long two-part, like, Hush, Batman Hush. That would work because they expect you to already know all the stuff and who all these characters are if you're going to watch that movie. If they're going to make like a big screen adaptation, like it would have to be, you wouldn't be able to do it the same way.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm not gonna agree with you.
No, but I mean, but like, which is a thing. Like, has it ever bothered you that Batman doesn't like, or the animated series, something we both are very fond of? Has very little to do with the Batman comics.
No, and I understand, but I don't know. Something about these Marvel, I don't know what it is. It's Marvel, I can never... I mean, I'm just being such a Marvel snob sometimes about the comics that I'm like, the ones I read growing up, that I can't really detach myself from them. I probably should, but I can't. I don't know why. That's on me, not on you.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just think it's stupid. I think it's silly.
That's fine.
And it just all goes back to just like the continuity thing. Like, how many times have they rebooted these characters like already?
Oh, I
In our
know.
lifetime. And I think, like we've said, that like the Spider-Man is a really good example of that.
It's true. The Amazing Spider-Man's not that great, actually, the comics.
No, the comics have never been that. Spider-Man hasn't
Been good in a long time.
He's always been hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree.
He's always and I feel the same way about all characters. Like, it's writers. You get good writers, you get good comics. Like, you get like staff writers that just work at Marvel, like they're journeymen that pump fucking issue out week after week, which I don't blame them. But the quality is not there. Like, I'm reading through Grant Morrison's entire like Batman run. He just ended it. He's done with Batman. So I'm reading like all the way back from like 2007 when he started. And every once in a while to get an entire like arc, I have to read some other like issues. I have to read like Nightwing and I have to read Robin
Yeah.
issues and stuff like that. And the drop in quality
It's terrible.
is so like noticeable. Like, it's just noticeable. Like, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, how noticeable it is, like, when you have, like, somebody like Grant Morrison writing, and then you have, like, just somebody from DC writing. Even, like, yeah, it was crazy. And the thing that made it even more jarring, it would be, like, the issue would take place in the same place, like, the last issue you were reading was taking place just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And they would, like, fuck up Batman, like, the tone of it, and, like, everything, and it'd be really goofy, and, like, the art style changes from comic book to comic book, so it just, like, there's no continuity there. And it would be, like, a drag. I'd be like, oh, my God, I'm so happy. First time in my life I've been happy that comic books are only 24 pages now. Like...
So with the change of continuity, you became frustrated.
No, continuity of quality.
Okay.
And art style.
But didn't you say the character changes too between
takes you out of the
writer?
story. Did I say that yes? No,
So-
it like with the X-Men movies and with Spider-Man and stuff like that, with the movies, I think by and large they have done justice to those characters. To the core X-Men have been the cast that they have and the actors and the writing and the scripts and stuff like that have done a pretty good job with that stuff, in my opinion. I think the spirit of the characters is there. Like the broad strokes of like the plot arcs and stuff like that are different, yes. But I think like Hugh Jackman is he's a great Wolverine.
No, I do
He's
think
too tall, but other than that, like he embodies that character really well.
And how are we to know how tall he is in the movie? Who knows?
Who knows? Asian people are short.
Exactly.
I mean, I think Professor Xavier, really well cast in both accounts, both times. Same thing with Magneto.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's that's what matters to me. Like, if I were to watch, like, an adaptation and, like, they just fuck up the characters and stuff like that, that will bother me.
No, my favorite was CGI Professor X.
Oh, CGI Professor X from The Last Stand, and I think he shows up in First Class, too.
Yeah.
CGI Professor X, if I'm not mistaken.
So he was just like, Patrick Stewart was like, nope.
Well, what do you... And, like, just, I guess the last thing, there's a little stinger, end credit stinger that sets up Days of Future Past, because this is actually connects to
The next
X-Men movie, which Bryan Singer is back directing.
I'm pretty excited.
Are you actually excited for it?
No, I am excited because I saw who they casted for Bishop, and Bishop looks awesome.
Yeah, Bishop does look awesome. See, you're hanging on aesthetics there.
See, I don't care. I don't care.
Well, they got Bishop in there, and it's going to deal with the Sentinels and Task Industries? Tarsk Industries? Have you seen the Sentinels? What they look like?
No.
No, you haven't?
No.
I think there's a couple of pictures out there. You should check it out.
No, I just saw the character pictures the other day, and I remember I showed you right away. I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that was that movie, like, nobody knew what it was up until recently.
Yeah.
Because when they started getting on-set photos of, like, why is, like, Hugh Jackman there, and why is Halle Berry there, and...
And no one put two and two together. Like, Swordfish... Oh, no, he wasn't in Swordfish.
Who?
Hugh Jackman. I was going to say...
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah, he was. So,
Yeah.
Swordfish 2.
Swordfish 2. This is actually Days X-Men, the next X-Men movie.
It should be Swordfish 2.
It'd be pretty sweet. John Travolta shows up.
Hey, guys.
He's still alive. No, actually, I'm kind of looking forward to that. It sounds... I don't know if they're going to pull it off. It sounds really crazy. I like the Days of Future Past story. That's actually one of the X-Men stories I'm quite fond of.
Okay.
Because it's crazy, it's all over the place. I was really kind of hoping that they would announce a new trilogy and just do Age of Apocalypse.
Maybe they'll lead into it.
That would be awesome. I'd be down. I'd be in it to win it. Because I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
People want them to do, and I think now, because when they first started the X-Men movies and they first started, Spider-Man and stuff like that, it was like an unknown. They didn't know if these things were going to be successful or not, so they would try to make them kind of as pandering and as broad as possible.
Right.
And now that comic books are movies are an accepted money-making format, they're more comfortable with actually just doing the stories from the books.
Books, right.
Yeah. So we might actually see something like that.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I'd be down.
We should write a letter to Marvel.
But when is Age of... Oh, it's not Marvel, it's Fox.
Fox.
20th Century Fox owns Marvel or owns X-Men. Sony owns Spider-Man. That's why they're not in the Avengers. Because Spider-Man should be in the Avengers.
I know he should.
Probably never gonna happen.
That's fine.
Especially
Andrew Garfield can stay being Andrew Garfield.
I'm okay with it. I think he was an okay Peter Parker / Spider-Man. I don't think those movies are good. That movie was good. That movie was good.
Well, the next one's coming out.
Soon. Yeah. Next summer.
Weird Electro.
Same thing with, the next X-Men's coming out.
That's gonna be a big summer.
Yeah, so at the end of the Wolverine, Magneto and Professor Xavier show up and meet Logan at the airport.
In the middle of the credits, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
And they're like, we got powers too, yo.
And they're all like, what?
I really love time travel shit, in movies, when it's done well.
Yeah?
I really enjoy, time travel stories. So, I don't know, maybe it'll be good. It'll be the Back to the Future of X-Men movies. That's my prediction.
Okay. I like it.
Well, that's it for me. You got anything else to say?
Not really.
No?
It was okay. I recommend watching Wolverine.
I'd say I wouldn't go see it in 3D. I would buy a ticket and a matinee. A matinee ticket would be worth it.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
wait till it's out.
Or wait till it's out on DVD. It's totally worth watching. Even kind of way better than I thought it was going to be. It's
Yep.
perfectly acceptable,
I agree.
I guess. Even if some of it's undercooked and a little weak.
Yeah.
And the twist at the end is really lame.
Yeah, I agree.
But I saw it coming. a million miles away.
No, so did I. Once I thought about it.
No, the first thing that the girl says, the girl sees the future, says, "I didn't see his death." I was
that's
like,
right.
he's not fucking dead.
Oh, that's right.
And like, 'cause this Viper chick's not gonna be doing stuff on her own. All right, whatever. Conversation over. Goodbye.
Bye.